What's going on, everyone? Charlie here. Hope you had a great morning so far. We have a new filing to talk about, and actually a few of them. This is number 1, NASDAQ 2021-053, proposed rule change to amend the exchange's transaction credits and charges at Equity 7, Section 118. So if you've been following my channel for a while now, you know that this is going to be related to liquidity and market share, which we talked about before all of these filings started coming out. So keep that in mind. Now, terms discussed and timeline. So the timeline of this one, June 22nd was when it was filed. June 30th, federal release. July 6th, it showed up on public inspection. And then actually, tomorrow, July 7th, it will be implemented. Fix that real quick. And then the terms discussed in this one, we have midpoint extended life order, which based in the filing itself, Supernote 3, a midpoint extended life order is an order type with a non-display order attribute that is priced at the midpoint between the NBBO, which is the National Best Bid and Offer, and that will not be eligible to execute until a minimum period of 10 milliseconds has passed after acceptance of the order by the system. Now, Supernote 4 defines NBBO liquidity provided, which just means liquidity provided from orders other than designated retail orders specifically, as that term is defined in Equity 7, Section 118. So also, again, if you've been following my channel, we went over this rule filing where they designated retail orders. So this all ties into the recent filing that we just saw. So that established the NBBO and display a quantity of at least one round lot at the time of execution. Now, Tape B is just referring to NYSE ARCA and NYSE Amex exchanges. Supernote 5 defines RTFY order, and that is a routing option available for an order that qualifies as a designated retail order. Again, there's that familiar term, which orders check the system for available shares only if so instructed by the entering firm and or thereafter. Supernote 6 defines Equity 7, Section 118. It's just consolidated volume. It means the total consolidated volume report to all consolidated transaction reporting plans by all exchanges and trade reporting facilities, except the ADF, during a month in equity securities, excluding executed orders with a size of less than one round lot. So, changes from this filing. So we have 6 things that they wanted to accomplish by filing this. Number 1, add a new credit of 0.0028 per share executed for members that add at least a certain threshold volume of liquidity and securities in Tape B. Number 2, add a new credit of 0.0030 per share executed for members that add and remove liquidity, including adding at least a certain threshold volume of liquidity and securities in the midpoint orders for those MILO orders that we just defined a second ago. And that's for any security type. Number 3, raise the qualifying threshold for an existing credit of 0.00305 per share executed for members that add and remove liquidity, including a certain volume of liquidity in midpoint orders or MELOs in securities in any tape. Number 4, they wanted to add a new 0.0026 and 0.0027 per share executed credit for members that provide liquidity, grow their liquidity adding activity relative to a benchmark month, and achieve certain ratios of NBBO liquidity to display liquidity provided. So they're incentivizing people to use the exchange by creating volume tiers, basically, that if they meet certain volume thresholds, they get a bigger rebate. And as we all know, the market is rebate driven. Number 5, add 2 new supplemental credits for certain midpoint orders of 0.001 or 0.0002 per share executed for members that provide at least certain thresholds of midpoint liquidity and grow their midpoint adding liquidity relative to a benchmark month. Number 6, amend the applicability of 2 existing charges for members with orders that execute upon utilizing the RTFY routing option that we just described a second ago. Now, what does this all point to? Liquidity. What does liquidity point to? Market share. So, basically, we have the new growth tiers. We have some supplemental credits for midpoint orders, all to incentivize members to use the exchange, all to route their order to the exchange. This is also to cut costs for the exchange as well. And then, of course, in essence, the filing helps CBOE Exchange. Well, this is not CBOE, this is NASDAQ. The filing helps NASDAQ Exchange cut costs, as well as help provide liquidity. It created volume tiers. To give bigger rebates for more volume on the exchange, and numerous indica demonstrate the competitive nature of this market. For example, clear substitutes to the exchange exist in the market for equity security transaction services. You don't say. The exchange is only one of several equity venues to which market participants may direct their order flow. Competing equity exchanges offer similar tiered pricing structures to that of the exchange, including schedules of rebates and fees that apply based on members achieving certain volume thresholds. And I apologize if you heard my daughter screaming a second ago. Last but not least, this is mention of their corrupt ADF system because check this out. So, moreover, as noted above, price competition between exchanges is fierce, with liquidity and market share moving freely between exchanges in reaction to fee and credit changes. This is in addition to free flow of order flow to and among off-exchange venues, which comprises of upwards of 44% of industry volume. That's the ADF. So, again, I appreciate everyone through the support through this weekend. When I get bored, I find shit. Sorry if you can't handle the truth. That's not really my problem. Again, if you've been following the channel, you know a lot of what we've been talking about has come to fruition. So, again, just trying to pass along the knowledge. Hope this helped somebody learn something, and I'll talk to y'all next time.